you know, earlier, get back to what you said earlier, you know, I think the pre-spawn's fixing to start. I went out, and a friend of mine, he has a dock that goes out about 35 foot out Jack Nolan Lake. And, you know, that's a little lake, you know, east of Greenwood there. And it's a little old lake, but, you know, it's a fun lake to go out and just relax. You know, sometimes you might not ever get a bite on that lake, but it's fun just to go out and relax, toss a line in the water, and just sit in a chair and relax. And I caught a 3-pounder and a 5-pounder yesterday. And that told me, you know, that the area I'm at, the water might have been 4 foot deep at the most, Mark. That's all it could have been. And that told me that they're starting to move up. That's when I started getting excited about, you know, the pre-spawn, that it just might start to be happening. And you come in here saying that.
Right. You know, and another thing, too, Jim, is a lot of these, it depends on the body of water. You know, we've got a full moon right now. And, you know, during the full moon, you know, especially in the month of April, is I mean, that's when they're spawning. I mean, that's when it's going on. Yeah. And the thing about a lot of these little smaller lakes is that they will actually, the water temperature will heat up a lot faster than it will in a big reservoir. You know, especially a small lake that's fairly shallow. I mean, that water temperature is going to jump up. It's going to jump up tremendously. You know, so I mean, and that's going to trigger. You know, that's going to trigger the spawn. You know, when that water temperature gets up there and gets right. That's when it's going to happen. So, you know, when this, you know, you start looking at the, you know, the waters, if the water's in the 60s, you know, look out. Right. I mean, because it's, you know, and that, you know, that's a perfect example. I mean, the fish you caught was, you know, you said it couldn't be any deeper than 4 foot of water. Yeah. You know, well, them fish are, I mean, them fish are right there, and especially them females. I mean, they'll get out there. Them females will come in, and them males may be up there on the beds and have everything already, but them females will do what we call cruising. I mean, you may see them just cruising up and down the bank. You know, they're wanting to get up there, and they're just waiting. You know, they're just waiting for the boyfriend to come pick them up and carry them up there to the bed. But that's what'll happen. I mean, you'll start seeing them. I mean, when you start seeing that, you know, and wherever you're fishing at, you know, you look down there and you may see a 4 or 5 pounder swim by. Well, that's an indication that it's fixing to happen. And a lot of times, them are the fish that you can catch. I mean, because they're out there, you know, pre-spawn, and they're eating, they're feeding up, you know, and because, you know, they don't really eat a whole lot when they're spawning, you know. Yeah. And so, you know, but that's what they're doing. I mean, it's just like wintertime fishing and fall time of the year. You know, they're feeding up on bait fish and stuff and getting ready for the winter. So it's the same thing as, you know, it's the same thing as a spawn, the pre-spawn. That's a really good time to catch a really big fish, you know, because you know, them females are going to be heavy right now with eggs. So this is the very best time to go catch a big fish.
Right. You know, you say they're cruising. That made me think of back in Oklahoma City where I grew up at 39th Street, going up and down to McDonald's restaurants and all that. Just, you know, driving up and down with our Malibus with had mufflers on it, but back in those days we cleaned out the mufflers so they could drive. We'd go by and rev it up, trying to impress the girl.
Oh yeah,
kind of on the reverse side.
Oh yeah, that was the deal. I've you know, I used to cruise the old drag strip a lot, you know. And that was the deal back whenever I was running around, you know, teenager and stuff. I mean, yeah, you always had to cruise the drag, you know.
Till one hooks you.
That's right. Till you get hooked, and then there you go, you know. Then that ends all that.